Happening right now, churches and rec centers across Hillsborough, Pinellas, and Sarasota counties are opening their doors for anyone who needs a warm place to sleep tonight ahead of another chilly evening. We have a list of the shelters opening right now, including which ones allow pets. Just go to abcactionnews.com.
It's going to be a cold night for South Florida, a little bit of a shock to the system. And our South County reporter, Miranda Christian, is live at the beach today where people aren't letting the cooler weather stop them from the sun and sand. Miranda.
Well, we had some people at the beach here a little bit ago in Boynton Beach, but it has cleared out in the last 10 minutes here, and I think that's because I feel like the wind kind of picked up and it got really cold. I feel like my hands are starting to get a little bit cold here as we've started feeling that wind chill come in. Now, the beach in Boca earlier today had several people at it. We saw some people out even sunbathing. It was yellow flags at the beach today. Some rip current warnings were in effect. We did see some surfers taking advantage of the rougher water and those waves out in Boca. A few people I spoke with say they wanted to take advantage of the beach not being busy. One mom I spoke with says this morning was chilly, but the sunshine helped warm up the day.
I had a hoodie on this morning when I took the kids to school, and then I told them as the day got warmer, I said, let's go to the beach. Maybe I won't go in the water, but I'm going to walk along, and I put my feet in the water. For me, I think it was warm.
Now, tomorrow might be a different day with those temperatures dropping overnight. You can already kind of start to feel it get colder right now, especially when you're in the shade. Now, again, that wind chill advisory goes all the way until tomorrow morning. So as you start getting ready for your day, remember you might need an extra jacket, maybe a hat and gloves if you're really cold tomorrow morning. Reporting live in Boynton Beach, I'm Miranda Christian, WPTV News Channel 5.
Look at Ocala. It was cold this morning. Tonight, it will be even colder. You're going down to an overnight low tide in Ocala of 28, Villages 30, Leesburg 32, Sanford 34. You can read them all the way on down. Daytona Beach, we're going to about 37, 40 to 41 in Melbourne should do it. Some of the wind chill factors are going to be really low. Up in Ocala tonight, you could go as low as 19 with your real feel wind chill. Brevard County, you'll hover in the 30s. So just get ready for it. Bundle up tomorrow morning. If you can stay in the house early tomorrow, do so, and then get out midday. We're getting back closer to 60 degrees. Satellite and radar together here showing the location of the deepening low off the east coast, drawing that cold air right straight down the peninsula, right into your backyard. Hard freeze if you have not seen a newscast today. Marion County, Ocala, Dunnellon, Reddick, you're all under the hard freeze warning until tomorrow morning. That means you go under the freeze mark down to about 27, 28 for maybe as long as 7 to 8 hours. Freeze warning in effect in this strip of land through here. Coastal zones are not under the freeze warning from Flagler to Volusia. Rest of the interior county is. Then all the area is under the wind chill advisory. If you can hear me, you have the wind chill advisory going on. The smoke today was a mess. People are still complaining about it on Facebook from the controlled burns, but you see the plumes beginning to dissipate and move on out. So hopefully the smokiness will clear out and the rest of the night will be smoke free, just dealing with the cold. It's 40 in Pensacola, 39 in Jacksonville, Orlando Health Camera 47, Daytona Beach at news time 43 with a real feel of 36. It's 41 in Ocala, and the real temperatures from Palm Coast to Gainesville are already at 39 with a real feel in Palm Coast of 30. The overnight lows tonight drop way on down, but in the next few hours we do stay in the low 40s for the most part in Orlando. The wind is pushing that cold air in here at 15 miles per hour. So the coldest air of the season is here. We will warm up toward the weekend. Here's the dry air aloft, keeping it really cold. Low tide in Ocala 28, that's the cold spot. 43 in Cocoa Beach is the warm spot. The low in Orlando tonight is 35. Here's tomorrow.
Your forecast is sponsored by Cash for Life from the Florida Lottery.
We do a little better tomorrow, back to 61, but the coldest point in the forecast is when you wake up tomorrow morning. Here's the week ahead. After a very cold start, back to 61 tomorrow, then tomorrow night, 54. We can hang with that. 71 on Thursday and Friday, Ginger, we're all the way back to 76 degrees. It's like it never happened.
That's more like it. Put those pants away.
Preparations are already underway across South Florida ahead of this bitter blast.
And we can't forget about our animals outdoors. And Local 10 News reporter Syra Onwar is live at Flamingo Gardens in Davie with how they're getting ready for this colder weather. I see you got your coat on. We don't see this a lot in South Florida.
That's right. You know, the animals out here, they're Florida native, but they can't be like me and be super dramatic with my big coat and my boots. But here's what they're doing here at Flamingo Gardens to keep those animals nice and warm. I rode along with Michael Ruggeri, the director of animal care at Flamingo Gardens, to see how the animals are doing in the cooler than usual weather. He says most of the animals at Flamingo Gardens are native to Florida and can handle the temperature drop. But for the ones that aren't, they make some special accommodations.
Well, with some of our gators, we're like taking some of the water out of their pond and putting fresh water in there. That'd be a little bit warmer. Flamingos, right now, we're kind of sucking water out of the pond and putting fresh water into it. That will make it a little bit warmer because the flamingos will be standing out in the water at night. Some of our birds, we're putting up heat lamps, 200-watt heat bulbs, and that will project heat about 4 feet away. Then some of our mammals, we're just kind of adding a little bit of extra hay inside their bedding to kind of maybe curl up a little bit better.
And Michael told me some of the animals are actually enjoying this cool down. A lot of them have a lot of fur. You saw that gator. Michael actually asked our photographer Marcus here if he wanted to go into the enclosure with the gator to see how comfortable he was. We passed on that, but he seemed pretty warm basking in that sun. That's the latest live from Davie. Syra Onworth, Local 10 News.
Don't be surprised. Only in South Florida do you say this. I have friends up north who say, are you kidding me? Don't be surprised, though, if you see iguanas falling from trees tonight. That's the message from the National Weather Service in Miami. They don't all get the snuggle alert like you do. And iguanas slow down or become immobile when temperatures can drop into the 40s. Pythons can get cold shock, too. And while they might fall from the trees, the National Weather Service says the iguanas are not dead.
Now, your ABC Action Weather 1-minute forecast, sponsored by Parliament Roofing.
All right, through the next several hours and into the overnight, we remain on the clear side, which is going to allow those temps to really fall dramatically with that cooler, drier air moving in from the north. Now, the winds will relax overnight, and we'll be waking up tomorrow morning to sunny skies, dry conditions, and those winds only at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. But that's going to keep it feeling like we're between 20 to 30 degrees tomorrow. Through the afternoon, the winds start to shift more easterly, and that will allow more cloud cover to build through the afternoon. It doesn't look like we'll see any rainfall out of it, but again, we'll get a little more cloud cover in the mix. Now, as far as the temps go tomorrow, starting off the day in the low 30s, even some upper 20s to the north, and then we will see those highs in the upper 50s. Warmer for Thursday and Friday. We've got another front that moves through on Friday, giving us a chance for rain in the afternoon and evening, and then cooler for the weekend.
And our team coverage focuses now on the cold weather emergency declared in Broward County.
CBS 4's Ty Russell is live at Fort Lauderdale with what that means and how Broward is preparing. And they're really concerned about folks who are homeless who'll be out on the street, especially tonight with these cold temperatures, right, Ty?
Exactly, Elliot and Rutabaga and the Salvation Army here. They are helping out some of our homeless folks who are on the streets. They are allowed to go inside tonight to escape some of that cold weather, but they're not the only ones bracing for this cold. South Florida farmers are preparing for a cold snap, especially since Broward officials have issued a cold weather emergency advisory. Bob Roth in Davie has his fingers crossed for a last-minute change.
What I'm going to do, I'm going to hope that we don't get a cold spell and a freeze.
However, he is still doing whatever he can to protect his fruit and plants ahead of a blast of cold air. Throughout the day at his farmers market, New River Groves, there was a steady flow of shoppers. He wants Wednesday to be the same, but he wants the freezing temperatures reaching lower 30s to stay away from South Florida.
And if it goes below that temperature for several hours with no cloud cover, it can do quite a bit of damage to the young tender blossoms on the mango trees in South Florida.
A cold weather advisory in Broward goes from now until 10 Wednesday morning. The Salvation Army on Broward Boulevard has opened its doors for people who are homeless. The Broward Outreach Center in Hollywood is another place for homeless people to go for the night, but it won't be used for families, only individuals. And during this winter weather, keep in mind your 4 Ps. Protect people, especially when it comes to children and the elderly. For yourself, make sure to wear layers. Protect plants. Bring potted plants indoors and keep outdoor plants and trees watered. Protect pets. Bring all pets indoors. If one is outside, make sure there is an enclosed shelter that's facing away from the wind. And protect against fires in the home, and the advice there is to inspect heating equipment before using it. And as the temperature here continues to drop, the Salvation Army behind me is still checking in some folks who will sleep here for the night. We are live in Fort Lauderdale. I'm Ty Russell, CBS 4 News.
first at 5. Bundle up, South Florida. If you thought it was chilly this morning, just you wait.
Some cities in our area could wake up with temperatures in the low 40s with the wind chill well below that. Chief Meteorologist Craig Setzer begins our live team coverage. Craig.
Yeah, this is the night that we talk about. There's not a lot of preps that you can do for a brief cold blast, but we'll talk about that in just a little bit. A couple of the things we have to watch out for, though, are the pets, of course, people, and you want to take care of any type of heating device that you're going to use during the night, not to create carbon monoxide or start fires. That's one of our big worries here in South Florida when it gets this cold. How cold is it? Well, look at the current temperatures. Already low to mid 60s out there. We're approaching the normal lows. Temperatures only got into the mid 60s for highs. Normal lows 60, so we're about ready to drop through that. And the wind is blowing pretty good right now, anywhere from 14 to 25 miles an hour out of the northwest. The wind's going to drop off a bit during the night, but it's going to stay up long enough to keep the wind chill factors very low, well into the 30s. So by tomorrow morning, around between 6 and 7:15 a.m., much of the metro area in the low 40s, but parts briefly touching the upper 30s. Middle and lower Keys will see temperatures in the 50s and 40s in the upper Keys tomorrow. Not much of a warm up. It's only in the 60s again for highs. So as we go through the night tonight, clear and cold, temperatures will drop into the low 40s and upper 30s. The wind chill will be in the 30s tomorrow. Another chilly day. I'll talk about a potential warm up coming in just a bit.
A starry sky. There are a few clouds around, though, and the winds stay up right through the overnight hours. Here's what happens tomorrow. In the morning, the winds are still north and northwest, so that keeps that cloud deck just off the coastline. But by late morning, early afternoon, the winds start to shift, and there'll be more northeast, and a few showers are possible, and a few more clouds during the day into tomorrow evening and into Thursday. Still breezy weather, but with the winds coming in off the Gulf Stream, we have temperatures that will be considerably warmer than they will be overnight. And there's a low that formed off the coast near the Bahamas that's tracking away, but that's helping bring down that real cold air that'll settle in, and eventually the winds shift around. There's another front on the horizon. It'll arrive mid-weekend. Ahead of that front, some showers and some storms that we'll keep an eye on at this point, though. It does look to cool us off for Sunday. So it's a little bit of a roller coaster ride, to say the least. 68, the forecast high tomorrow, 77 by Friday. And then by Sunday again, on the cool side, with 71 for a daytime high. Now, big waves out there. Seas about 7 to 11. Gale warning in effect, small craft advisory. We have north-northwest wind tomorrow. It'll be shifting northeast in the afternoon, but 25 to 35 knots. It's a mess. 42 overnight, 30s inland. And with the wind, it feels like 30s just about everywhere. Dress in extra layers tomorrow, because by the afternoon, we're almost to 70 degrees. It'll still be windy, though, so we still have that little bit of a wind chill. It'll feel cool. In the 7-day forecast, warming up pretty fast by Friday, 77. Another front late Saturday. That'll cool us off on Sunday, but not as cold as we're going to see tonight. 40s and 30s. That's a big chill that we haven't seen in a while.